It wasn't a bang but a whimper, a slow, agonizing decline into chaos. Pandemics raged, economies crumbled, governments fell. The fabric of society, once strong and vibrant, unraveled thread by thread. We watched, helpless, as the world we knew ended. The lucky ones died quickly. The rest of us, we inherited the ashes, a desolate wasteland where familiar landmarks stood as skeletal reminders of a forgotten time. Streets once bustling with life now lay cracked and overgrown, littered with the remnants of a shattered civilization. The air, once filled with the sounds of laughter and industry, hung heavy with the stench of decay. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the mournful howl of the wind as it whistled through the ruins of skyscrapers. Gone were the days of grocery stores and gas stations, replaced by the desperate scramble for scraps. Every sunrise brought a fresh wave of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the infected, fear of other survivors. For in this new world, trust was a luxury few could afford. Every encounter was a gamble, a potential threat to your existence. Cities, once symbols of human achievement, now stood as monuments to our folly. Towers of glass and steel, now scarred and empty, reached for a sky devoid of hope. Nature, relentless and unforgiving, had begun to reclaim its dominion. Vines snaked their way up crumbling walls, their emerald tendrils a stark contrast to the gray concrete. Packs of feral dogs, their ribs showing through their matted fur, roamed the streets, scavenging for scraps. Their haunting howls echoed through the empty canyons of buildings, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life. We had become scavengers too, picking through the ruins of our past, hoping to find something, anything, to help us survive another day. Every day was a struggle against the elements, against hunger, against the ever-present threat of the infected. Those who succumbed to the virus were transformed into grotesque parodies of their former selves, driven by a primal hunger for living flesh. They lurked in the shadows, their moans a constant reminder of the ever-present danger. Survival hinged on two things: trust and bullets. Trust, a rare commodity in this new world, was more valuable than gold. Finding others you could rely on, who would watch your back and share their meager rations, could mean the difference between life and death. Bullets, once symbols of conflict, were now the only currency that mattered. They were the only thing that stood between us and the infected. The only thing that offered a semblance of security in a world gone mad. But ammunition was finite, every shot fired a gamble in itself. We formed fragile alliances, drawn together by necessity and the shared instinct to survive. We learned to read the subtle signs of danger, to trust our instincts above all else. We became hardened, desensitized to the horrors that surrounded us. The silence was deafening. Gone was the cacophony of city life, the roar of traffic, the chatter of crowds. Now, the only sounds were the whispers of the wind, the scuttling of rats in the debris, and the distant moans of the infected. It was in the silence that the true horror of our situation sank in. The silence was a constant reminder of all that we had lost, all that we could no longer take for granted. The simple pleasures of the past, a warm meal, a hot shower, the sound of a loved one's voice, became distant memories, their absence a constant ache in our hearts. The silence was also a breeding ground for fear. It allowed our imaginations to run wild, to conjure up unseen threats from the shadows. Every creak of a floorboard, every rustle of leaves, sent shivers down our spines. The apocalypse didn't just scar the world around us, it scarred us from within. The constant struggle for survival, the loss of loved ones, the horrors we had witnessed, they left an indelible mark on our souls. We carried the weight of our experiences like a physical burden. The lines on our faces were etched deeper by worry and hardship. Our eyes, once filled with hope and laughter, now held a haunted, distant look. We had seen too much, experienced too much. The world we once knew was gone, and we along with it. Sleep, when it came, was plagued by nightmares. We were haunted by the faces of the dead, the cries of the infected, the echo of gunfire. We woke in cold sweats, our hearts pounding, the line between nightmare and reality blurred. Hope. It's a dangerous thing in this new world. A flickering candle in the overwhelming darkness. Clinging to it can get you killed. But letting it go, that's a kind of death too. Sometimes when the sun sets and paints the ravaged skyline in hues of red and orange, I see it. A spark of defiance in the eyes of a fellow survivor, the laughter of children, their innocence a shield against the harsh realities of our broken world. A single flower pushing its way through the cracked pavement, a testament to the enduring power of life. These fleeting moments, these glimmers of hope, are what keep us going. They remind us that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, the human spirit can endure. They give us the strength to face another day, to fight for a future that seems impossible. A future where the silence is broken not by screams but by the sounds of life returning to our ravaged planet. A future where the echoes of the apocalypse are drowned out by the laughter of generations to come.